my name is Utkarsh and I'm over here for a new topic known as the various tourist organization. Over here on this topic we'll discuss what are the various national or state organization who are responsible for the upliftment and development of the tourism industry at the various areas. First we need to discuss about what is the need of organization. For an industry, an organization is a must as it plays a vital role in its planning, development, and growth. The organization consists of individuals whose primary role is the achievement of the objectives for which it has been set up. In the aspect of tourism, why is there any importance of organizational phenomena is not a difficult thing to find out. In fact, tourism is an collectivization of the various aspects which not only confine themselves with their own territory but has to be concerned themselves with the outside world as well. Therefore, when a thing has a broad sense to be connected with the affairs of the outside world in order to achieve the significance, it needs the formation of an organization. The institution which should be secular in approach. The development in terms of every aspect of tourism, that is, economical, social, industrial aspects of tourism, all depends directly on this organization. It relates to the structure of the industry and is concerned with the issues involved and the approaches to it. In case of industry, organization has to devote many-fold success of its different branches. These objectives may be of three major fold. First, attraction, for example, climate, scenery, historical and cultural features. The accessibility, that means how one can reach that particular destination, is known as the role of accessibility. For example, the distance of destination, their location, and the transportation facilities. Amenities means what all facilities are available in terms to accommodate the people reaching there for the tourism purpose. Accommodation, catering, and other entertainment facilities. The organization also can make a success of the tourist destination. The organization of tourism may fall into two parts. First, there are sectors of tourism, that is, the various providers of tourist services, the hotel catering services, the transport services, and the entertainment services. Secondly, there are the levels of the tourist organization. We have the nationals, regionals, locals, and international. The organization of tourist industry in any region varies considerably due to the nature of the organizational setup. As far as state is concerned, state organizes that tourism is a basic and most desirable human activity and deserves all encouragements and supports by the government. Its various agencies, the trade and the other connected interest. So, in order to manage the organization and to promote this smokeless industry by the help of the organization, any level of tourism should have some objectives. The objectives are not policies, as these later things are subjected to change. As far as state is concerned, the state recognizes that tourism is a basic and most desirable human activity and deserves all encouragements and supports by the government, its various agencies, the trade, and the other connected interests. So, in order to manage the organization and to promote this smokeless industry by the help of the organization, any level of tourism should have some objectives. The objectives are not policies, as these later things are subjected to change. The objectives are permanent things without which the backbone of tourism can never be strengthened. For example, in Madhya Pradesh, most of the area are tribal dominated. The Chhattisgarh Plateau, the Bundelkhand and the Malwa region, the Bastar district are all tribal dominated. The rich cultural heritage, the tribal folk dances and the folk art are the focal point for the tourism development in Madhya Pradesh. So, While taking any step to achieve tourism promotion in these areas, one should have the major objectives which should not hinder the cultural heritage of these areas. The objective of tourism in state category falls in these following things. First, to promote the social, cultural, educational impact of tourism among the people. These things leads to national integration and international goodwill. Second, to convince the people of their right to freedom of movement within the country and outside the country as well. In this aspect, it also declares that all the necessary steps should be taken to facilitate the entry, exit, and stay of tourists in the country, whether local or foreign. To enhance the economic objective which promotes and strengthens the economy of the country, to awaken public consciousness about tourism advantages and to take necessary measures, mitigate and eliminate any adverse impact on tourism may cause any field, to take major steps to provide appropriate infrastructural facilities, to stimulate the domestic, regional, and international tourism, to make the people conscious of the employment potential of the tourist industry, to give the public and private sectors technical and financial assistance in regards to the development of the tourist resources, to call for special assistance and attention to the colorful tribal areas, to promote the college and art and handicraft industry, to act as a catalyst and coordinate between international and national tourist organizations. These aims and objectives of the organizational motives and in the process of these organizational works, these motives can easily be carried out, whether the interest is concerned with the total nation or the states without a proper organization work. These vast network of system can never be carried out. Tourism is a large dimensional body with the importance attached to every minor aspect of it. For example, there are many a number of major tourist spots even surpass the major ones. Secondly, the main aspect of tourism development is associated with the discovery of unknown, buried hut, beautiful spots which are yet to be tracked out. So, the development of any area is sometimes directly attached to the findings made by the tourist departments. And proper implementation of these findings and its system workout can also be possible by the efforts of tourism department at the lowest level. So, organizational form has got its vital role in this regards. The aim of organization is to deploy staff into working groups associating those with similar functions or purpose so as to move efficiently to obtain a desired result from their combined efforts. In other words, the organization means combination of a group of individuals whose main purpose is to achieve through the group action, the objective of which it has been set up. The organization of tourism is complex and involves literally hundreds of divisions and units. This starts with the National Tourist Organization, followed by the various other private organizations. NTO. NTO is the body responsible for the formulation and implementation of national tourist policy in India. Almost all the countries have tourist organization. The status, powers, responsibilities and resources vary a great deal from country to country depending upon the number of conditioning factors, especially the differing potential and constitutional structures. But now, with the increasing flow of tourist traffic in recent years, the study area has been playing an active role. It is through the process of liaison with many government departments, for example, home, external, finance, planning, health, the development of the tourism can be achieved. National Tourism Organization (NTO) has its own branch offices established to correlate the main organization with the local travel agencies, trade, and tourist agencies. Prior to the function of the separate organization, tourism was the part of the Transport Ministry, but by the end of 1946, it was due to Sir John Sargent, the then educational advisor to the Government of India. Recommendation was made for the setup of a separate tourist organization at the center with the regional offices at the metropolitan centers, namely Delhi, Kolkata, Bombay, and Madras. By 1955-56, a proposal for the creation of a Director General of Tourism (DGT) was proposed in order to have policy making discussions. Another important step during this time was the opening of a chain of tourist offices both in India and abroad. Apart from the tourist regional offices at all the four metropolitan centers of India, a number of information offices were opened to mobilize the association. The duties of the regional tourist officers included liaison with the state governments, the local tourist agencies, the railway authorities, airlines, shipping agencies, and hotels. The duties of the officers were to look after the tourist interest, to assist the Ministry of Transport in the preparation and distribution of publicity material, to improve the facilities for the tourist in terms of accommodation, transportation, sightseeing, and in other means of communications. In order to establish liaison with various ministries and coordinate various activities pertaining to tourism, the department is represented on the following committees or the advisory boards: Civil Aviation Department Fund Committee, Advisory Committee on the Indian Airlines, Indian Board for Wildlife, Central Advisory Board of Archaeology, Aerodrome Planning Group, Hotel Industry Study Group. Ad hoc committees to review rules regarding protection of monuments, Central Post and Telegraph Advisory Council, ITTC, Indian Tourism Development Corporation. So, this department has got a chain of relationship with all the departments starting from the hotel group, aviation centers up to with the archaeological departments. From a small beginning in the year 1949, the tourist organization in Madhya Pradesh has grown tremendously. Ad hoc committee to review the rules regarding protection of monuments, Central Post and Telegraph Advisory Council, ITTC, Indian Tourism Development Corporation. So, this department has got a chain of relationship with all the departments starting from the hotel groups, aviation centers, up to with the archaeological department. From a small beginning in the year 1949, the tourist organization in Madhya Pradesh has grown tremendously. On the screen, you can see the various organizational chart of the Department of Tourism in the Madhya Pradesh, starting from the Deputy Minister, then the Secretary, then the Director General, then the Additional Director General, Director General, Deputy Director General, Deputy Director General. Then we have the hotels, the publicity, promotion and trainings, the travel, trade, hospitality, the planning programs, the accommodation and wildlife, the tourist admission, the market research, the financial administration, and the travel statistics. Besides these personnel, there are number of subordinate officers as accountants, clerks, and others who work sensibly to promote the growth of the organization. Apart from these officials set up in the corporation, tourist officers have been employed in every regional centers, such as railway stations, nodal centers of each city, who provides first-hand information about the tourist spots and help in providing the vital information about every aspect of tourism such as transport, fare, accommodation, etc. Now we come to the role of ITDC. In India, planning and marketing of tourist product is handled at three different levels. The highest level is the Central Department of Tourism. The next level is the ITDC, an autonomous body, and the third level is that of the states. According to the Jha Committee in 1963, which proposed that public sector should assume a more active and positive role in promoting tourism. There were three-tier system to set up in the tourism department. Hotel Corporation of India Limited, Indian Tourism Corporation Limited, and Indian Tourism Transport Undertaking Limited. Later on Later on, in 1966, these three corporations were merged into one composite undertaking in the name of Indian Tourism Development Corporation Limited (ITDC). This undertaking was an amalgamation of the aims and objectives of all these above corporations. This company came into being with effect from March 28, 1970. Now, let's discuss what are the various objectives of ITDC. The objectives of ITDC are: first, construction and management of hotels, restaurant, guest houses, which comes under the recreation and accommodation. The second is transport facility to tourists. Third, the entertainment shows to the tourist. Fourth, shopping facilities to the tourist. Fifth, projection of national importance of tourism at home and abroad. With these broad objectives, ITDC has provided a wide range of services for the promotion of tourism. In cooperation with the Central Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation, it has established a social infrastructure. Now, ITDC has India's largest accommodation chain with more than 3,000 hotel rooms. It has set up a marketing division at New Delhi to assist the travel industry through the coordinated sales promotion. In this way, though this institute was started as a very small organization in 1949, now, due to its recognition as an industry, it has claimed an independent discipline. Now, with the exploration of new tourist spots in all parts of India, the responsibility of ITDC has been more adventurous and progressive. The state of Madhya Pradesh, though centrally located, was known for years to many people of India itself, rated as one of the driest part of India. Very few tourists were attracted to its tourist spots, but with the rapidity of tourism, the state has been acclaimed by the tourists as the very heart of India. Apart from the potential tourist spots in the state, visitors are profusing towards the lesser known spots of this part of India. For example, recent monumental excavation in Sirpur near Raipur, temples set up at Dongadgarh for the famous Mela attracts lakhs of people during the month of December. The art and sculpture at Bastar, handicrafts and rock painting at Bhimbetka, waterfall at Dhundhar, and a beautiful deep gorge through white marble at Jabalpur have been the possible due to various sections of ITDC in general and MPSTDC in particular. At present, there are 9 numbers of Madhya Pradesh State Tourism Development Corporation offices at Bhopal, Indore, Ujjain, Pachmadi, Gwalior, Khajuraho, Jabalpur, Rewa, and Raipur. The head office being at Bhopal, the capital of the state. Now we come to the International Tourist Organization. Tourism is one of the most flourishing industries which has got widespread organization throughout the world. In fact, these organizations have close correlationship with each other. Moreover, they are deeply connected with the top level to very small information offices. The history of cooperative endeavor in tourism traces back to the year 1908 when countries like France, Spain, and Portugal felt the need of pooling their resources in the interest of promoting tourism. The need for the international collaboration in the field of tourism was found during the World War I with the formation of the International Union of Official Organization for Tourist Propaganda. The first Congress of the organization was held at The Hague in 1925 and was attended by the delegates from 14 European countries. In the year 1946, the representative of various national tourist organizations met in London, and the following years, 1947, the National Union of Official Travel Organization (IUOTO) was found. The importance of these organizations increased with the help and assistance given by the United Nations Conference in the year 1963. The encouragement given by the United Nations of IUOTO paved the way for greater cooperation at international level in the field of tourism. In the year 1950, India joined the International Union of Official Travel Organizations. Towards 1925, the International Union of National Tourist Propaganda Organization was formed at The Hague. With the advent of the Second World War, IUNTPO had to discontinue its practices. In 1947, the International Union of Official Travel Organizations was founded. The organization represented over 100 national tourist offices of various countries. This institution was the only international organization which grouped together the governmental or official tourist organization of all parts of the world. The main aim of the organization was to stimulate and increase the free flow of the persons in the interest of economic development and to strengthen the social and cultural relations. This was a special organization and was granted consultative status by the UN. The supreme body of the IUOTO was the General Assembly, which had its meeting once a year. This following chart shows the various IUOTO bodies responsible for the liaison and implementation of its policies. Now let's talk about the World Tourism Organization, or the WTO. WTO is World Tourism Organization is an intergovernmental technical body and deals with all the aspects of tourism. The swift expansion of travel and tourism leads to the feeling of a need for the world body to deal with tourist problems, and this lead to the transformation of IUOTO into WTO. This organization is essentially creative and dynamic and has a well-defined service. This has a three-tier objective. First, the promotion and development of tourism with a view to contributing economical development and international understanding. Second, organization pays more interest to the developing countries. Third, it establishes and maintains effective collaborations between UN and its agencies. There are three categories of members: full members, associate members, and affiliated members, and they comprise of the members of sovereign state, members of territories, and international bodies respectively. There are three organs through which the WTO functions. First, the General Assembly. This is the supreme organ. It meets every 2 years and accepts the proposal and recommendations. The General Assembly has created 6 regional commissions. These organizations functions and operates within the framework of the organization. Second, the Executive Council. It takes all necessary measures in consultations with the Secretary General for the implementation of the decision. The Council meets at least twice a year. The Secretariat. The Secretariat consists of the Secretary General and other staff. This is responsible for carrying out the journal policy and work program of the organization. The WTO works in cooperation with all international organizations, the United Nations in particular. Like its predecessors, the IUOTO, the WTO's activities cover all sectors of tourism on the worldwide basis. India is a full member of the World Tourism Organization. Apart from these universal institutions, there are some regional associates or the association which promotes the tourism as well. These are PATA, the Pacific Area Travel Association. Other is International Air Transport Association IATA, ITA, and International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO, PATA. The objective behind the foundation of this organization in 1951 was to stimulate interest in the Pacific region as a vacation land and to develop, promote, and facilitate the travel to and among many Pacific destinations. The association had 44 founder members, which was founded by Lauren Thurston. This organization primarily operates in the US market, which is the biggest travel market. The activities of the PATA includes assisting small and up and coming destination to develop their infrastructure as well as their planning operations. Promotion occupies the major portion of PATA's total effort. The Pacific Travel News, the PATA publication, is an important source of authoritative material on the Pacific. This organization has 9 categories of membership, which includes almost all the active and associate members. India was admitted as an associate government member to this organization in 1957, and in 1964 India became an active member of the association, and it is notable that PATA 66 was the 15th annual conference of the association, which was held in New Delhi. India was awarded yet another conference in PATA. Now we talk about the International Air Transport Association, ITA. International Air Transport Association and International Civil Aviation Organization. These are two permanent bodies which were formed by the convention called by the President Franklin D. Roosevelt in the US in 1944. Both the organizations are the leading international agencies looking after various aspects of the world aviation industry. Broadly speaking, ITA is the World Association of Scheduled Airlines, within which they coordinate their efforts to serve their passengers, share their expense, and analyze their problems. This association also acts as an intermediary between the governments and its users. The third is International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO. The organization was established in 1947 with the headquarters of the organization at Montreal, Canada. The main objective of the organization are to develop the principles and the techniques of the international air navigation to foster the planning and development of international air transport. The principal organ of ICAO is an assembly. It is the sovereign body of the ICAO. The organization has a council, and this council gives continuous direction to the work of the organization. India has been an elected member of the council. These two organizations, ICAO and ITA, plays a key role in the growth and development of international air transport. This growth of international air transport is as key success to the growth and achievement of tourism in a broad sense. Now let's talk about the various travel agencies organization available in the Madhya Pradesh. The national sceneries, sculptural techniques, religious monuments, rich cultural heritage, all these elements are integral part of tourism. A place having all these facilities naturally becomes an attraction for the tourist. But the development of the very place to attract more tourists depends on any organization who acts as an functionary body. In this relation, it can be said that Madhya Pradesh, though situated in the center of the country and though it does not lack in any respect with other states of India in terms of splendors to attract the tourist. This functionary body started only in 1978. It is because of the absence of this organization, not much of the development has taken place in the field, and therefore this resourceful state of Madhya Pradesh is well behind the other states like Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Orissa, and some South Indian states in the field of the tourism. Analyzing the history of development of tourism in Madhya Pradesh, one can find that the actual spread up of tourism came into being after 1952. This was also restricted to a different type of tourism such as hunting, fishing, etc. Lachana in Bastar state was famous for shooting of tigers. The king of different states used to invite the foreign people, especially the Britishers, for shooting. Sarangarh state was one of those reputed places. Pilgrimage centers were situated in Nagpur, Bastar, Mahamaya Temple of Raipur, Dongargarh Temple in Khairagad state. It can be said that the prior to 1947, that is, before India achieved the independence, there was a seculated type of tourism in which, except the Britishers, no other foreigners were visited this place or to India in general. Gwalior, Bhopal, Panna, and Rewa were outstanding places in Madhya Pradesh, which had achieved some distinction during the British rule and during the rule of feudatory states. While Gwalior was famous for wild animals like tigers, Rewa was reputed for having white tigers. In sports, Bhopal was famous for shikar and sports like hockey, polo, and cricket. Bhopal produced record cheetal and sambar heads in India. Gwalior was famous for hockey and other sports. In this way, the various aspects of tourism started only after 1952. Even the famous Khajuraho temple was in limelight before 1953, when it was exposed to outside world as a tourist center only after late Dr. Rajendra Prasad. The then President of India happened to pass the place by plane and took initial efforts for its resetup. These above examples are mere glimpses of some of the lapses in case of tourism in Madhya Pradesh and also states the fact that this smokeless industry was in a neglected state in the recent past. In 1972, a tourist board was set up by the government with a chairman and Major Raja Birendra Bahadur Singh of Khairagad as the vice chairman. As a matter of fact, this is the only state in India where no infrastructure was provided by the government to build up the tourism but was promoted by the help of resources availed by the loans or by institutional financing. MPSTDC. The Madhya Pradesh State Tourism Development Corporation was established in May 1978. Since its establishment, it has not looked back and achieved a lot within these 10 to 12 years of time period. For example, when this corporation took over the charge from Department of Tourism, the later body transferred only 13 accommodation units and 16 vehicles to the corporation. Now, it has gone up to 35 accommodation units and fleet of up to 50. On the screen you can see the hierarchy of the Department of Tourism and the Madhya Pradesh State Tourism Board of Development Corporation as well. For the administrative and operational convenience, the regional tourist offices have been set up at Gwalior, Khajuraho, Satna, Jabalpur, Bhopal, Indore, Pachmadi and Raipur. Outside the state, satellite offices have been set up at Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, Nagpur and Jhansi. All these offices also function as tourist information outlet. Besides these, almost all the places and district headquarters have tourist information offices. To note, a full-fledged engineering section is headed by a chief engineering to look after the technical aspect and planning of the organization. Travel agencies. Madhya Pradesh is the largest state in the country. This large dimension is certainly an obstacle for the promotion of tourism in the state. So, any comparison of the tourist activities in Madhya Pradesh should not be compared to that of the state like Haryana, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh. The state does not have adequate railway networks, air transport, terminal and above all without a suitable climate in most of the years. Certainly, the achievements which the corporation has achieved within the certain period of the year is naturally due to the hard fought battle against these obstacles by the corporation and the travel agencies. So, when the major credit of the achievement goes to the corporation itself, the effort of the travel agencies cannot be overlooked. It is the travel agent who is an organizer of travel and a key link in the promotion of tourism as a means of generating international goodwill and friendship. Sometimes these agents act as the explorers to the new destination. In fact, they are the ambassador in this respect. The development of any tourist place can never be promoted unless it is promoted by the agent. Nowadays, the role of travel agent has expanded a great deal with following work deals. Preparation of individual pre-planned itineraries, personally escorted tour, making arrangement for hotels and resort accommodation, car rentals, transfers of passengers and luggage between terminals and hotels, advertising and publicity of the tour, possession of professional knowledge, that is, train connection, hotel tariff, flight connections, special interest activities such as religious pilgrimage convention. In this way, when some tourist places are only opened for a few months, the arrangement made for it by the agent is an annual affair. It is pity that Government of India realized the importance of travel agents, and then the Ministry of Transport evolved a system of granting recognition to travel agents through Tourist Traffic Branch in the Ministry of Tourism. In fact, they are the ambassador in this respect. The development of any tourist place can never be promoted unless it is promoted by the agent. Nowadays, the role of travel agent has expanded a great deal with the following work deals. Preparation of individual and pre-planned itineraries, personally escorted tours, making arrangements for hotels and resort accommodations, car rentals, transfers of passengers and luggage between terminals and hotels, advertising and publicity of the tour. The possession of professional knowledge, that is, train connection, hotel tariff, flight connections, special interest activities such as religious pilgrimage conventions. In this way, when some tourist places are only opened for a few months, the arrangement made for it by the agent is an annual fair. It is pity that Government of India realized the importance of travel agents, and then the Ministry of Transport evolved a system of granting recognition to travel agents through Tourist Traffic Branch in Ministry of Transport. The grant of recognition is only considered only if the firm confirms the following formalities. If it is approved by IATA, has license to book foreign passengers issued by the Reserve Bank of India, has the approval of the Ministry of External Affairs to handle the travel documents and deal with the passport officers. The travel agent decides to form an association on all India basis in 1952, and today the Travel Agent Association of India has more than 80 members. In Madhya Pradesh, the work of travel agent is still too challenging. It is the only state in India in which, because of the scattered tourist places, the agents find it difficult to prepare an itinerary covering all the places. The State Tourism Corporation also launches several packages tour from the satellite towns like Calcutta, Bombay, and New Delhi. In all, there are 14 super value gateway options to Madhya Pradesh, but not a single itinerary include all the tourist places of Madhya Pradesh. Some of the travel agents in Madhya Pradesh are Ashok Travels and Tourists, a unit of ITDC. This unit of ITDC is an official agent conducting tour all over India. In Madhya Pradesh, it has got its branch in the tourist places like Gwalior, Bhopal, Indore, Khajuraho, etc. Sodhi Travel and Tours, Bhatia Travels, Shastri Travel Agencies, Samrat Hotel Complex, Russell Crossing, Jabalpur, Sangi Travels Indore, Radiant Travel Bhopal, Transworld Travels Raipur. Thank you.